They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Alright guys, y'all know one thing I have been doing on this channel as of late is I've been going through and just giving y'all the top 10 at each position. That way we can track it throughout the course of the entire fantasy basketball season and see who is at the top of each leaderboard and really how those players are trending. In this video, I'm going to do kind of the same thing, where what I'm actually going to do is I'm probably going to go to the top 15, maybe the top 20 players currently in fantasy points per game, talk about why they are at the top, what are they doing extremely well for those particular category leagues and the point leagues at the same time, talk about where I think they could go in the future, if they are a buy, if they are a sell. I mean, really, this video can go any given way, but what I mainly need to tell y'all is I need to tell y'all we had so many requests for me to break down your fantasy basketball rosters, for me to look at those rosters, give you trade advice, give you team grades, and etc. But what I need for y'all to do is I need for y'all to go and send me some more of them. If you have already, completely fine. Hold on, I most likely have your team screenshotted and could cover it in the next video. But if you have not already, go down there, go to Instagram, go to Twitter, send me your team. That way I can break it down in the next video that should come out either tomorrow or the following day. But yeah, make sure you're dropping a like, make sure you are subscribing to the channel because that helps us out a ton. And let's get into this video. And the first player that we are going to need to talk about was our #1 draft day target for the first round. Y'all know this by now because I just want to brag every single video, and this is going to be Nikola Jokic. And right now, it does not matter what your fantasy format is. If you drafted Nikola Jokic, I mean, he is carrying you game after game, night after night to take down your fantasy matchups where he's already played in 20 games. I mean, this is by far and away more games than pretty much any other player that's even in the top 12. So it's insane that he's been able to have these per game numbers. But he's doing this with great efficiency where you look at his field goal percentage and it's hovering around 58%. And while I know with the big man, they are going to have decent numbers with their field goal percentage pretty much universally, but I think this Nikola Jokic number really stands out in that it is too good. I mean, this is one thing that I think we can safely look at with Nikola and say, you know what? He's probably going to regress here. There's no way that he can keep this up. His free throw percentage, on the other hand, still a very good number, but I think it is sustainable for the rest of the year where he is hovering just over 80%. You look at the threes he is giving you 1.5 a game. We know that's something we can't expect from Jokic. But what we love to see, and this is why we are drafting him in the first round, are the points, rebounds, and assist numbers. Specifically the assist numbers where he is crushing almost every other player in the NBA. Pretty much everyone but some guards. And here with Nikola, I mean, we are seeing him average close to 9 assists a game, 12 rebounds, 27 points. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. One other thing that we need to look out for regression with is actually going to be the steals. But outside of that, I mean, we look at his threes, you look at his free throw percentage, you look at his points, rebounds, assists, and honestly his blocks at the same time. These numbers he's going to maintain. I mean, I don't see any of those going down anytime soon. So with Nikola, I mean, if you drafted him at this point, he is pretty much untouchable unless you're going to be getting a massive, massive haul for him. And now something crazy that I said in a couple videos ago was actually that our next player on this list is a strong trade target of ours. And if you would be willing to move off of Nikola, it would be for this guy. And this is going to be Karl Anthony Towns. So I know with Cat, I mean, he has not seen a good amount of games so far. I mean, he's only played 4 games at the time of this recording. But during those 4 games, he's looked exactly why you drafted him. I mean, he's looked every single part of a dominant NBA center. And we are looking at the minutes in the rotation. He's getting 33. That's nothing we need to focus in on too much. We look at the field goal percentage. Honestly, a number that I'm expecting to go up. Keep in mind, this is an extremely small sample size with Karl Anthony Towns because we know he missed games with the wrist injury. Then he got COVID. But when he's coming back, he should be 100% healthy and 100% good to go. We know that he is going to have a good free throw percentage. We know that he is going to knock down some threes. He's going to give you the points. He's going to give you elite rebounding numbers. And with Karl Anthony Towns, another big man that can provide you some assist value. not really going to be in the same range of a Nikola Jokic, but it's because he plays almost an entirely different position. And then you look at the steals, you look at the blocks. I really don't want to focus in there too much just because the sample size is so small that one game can throw those numbers completely off. But we know that with Karl Anthony Towns, he is going to give you elite blocks. And that's one reason why I would not hate the idea of taking Nikola Jokic and trading him for Karl Anthony Towns plus another significant player. I mean, it's entirely possible that you take a player like Nikola Jokic, you trade him for Karl Anthony Towns and then a Zach LaVine. And possibly that's something, depending on your league depth, is something that could drastically help your starting lineup. And this is coming from someone who was a massive fan of Nikola Jokic before the season started. All right, so now our third player on this list, I have to hold a giant L with. I mean, y'all know I told you to sell him high about 2 weeks ago, and just like Kyrie Irving, he's given me a giant middle finger, and this is Kevin Durant. And so we know the reason I told y'all to sell Kevin Durant is not because I think he's a bad basketball player. Currently, I think Kevin Durant's most likely the second best player in the NBA. I mean, he's my favorite player in the NBA, but I was not expecting these type of numbers with James Harden and Kyrie Irving both on the roster. I mean, we know that Kevin Durant has been elite in the efficiency categories so far this year, where he is shooting 52% from the field, close to 90% from the free throw line, which are numbers that we should expect to continue, especially with opposing defenses having to give so much attention to both Kyrie Irving and James Harden on the court. But with Kevin Durant, the reason I thought that he was going to be a sell high is I thought he was going to be seeing less shots, but he's not. I mean, this Brooklyn Nets team is truly probably the most unique team that we have ever seen in the NBA, as they are on pace since the James Harden trade to be the best offensive team per 100 possessions and the worst defensive team per 100 possessions in NBA history. Now, I know this is an extremely small sample, so those numbers are going to regress slightly. But I think we have to look at this team in a completely different light just because we've never seen a team constructed in this way before. And then with Kevin Durant, I mean, the numbers have not fallen off. With points, rebounds, assists, he's giving you 37.5 and 5.5. And we know the defensive statistics are going to be there at the same time. I mean, as a 7-foot shooting guard, what are you going to be expecting with Kevin Durant? He's going to be giving you steals. He is going to be giving you blocks. So with KD, honestly, I want to say that he still could be a sell high for us just because we know the name value is there. People are excited for a great reason. Like I said, he's my favorite player in the NBA. But how long can the Brooklyn Nets be the best offense in NBA history while they're most likely the most talented offense in NBA history? I find it hard to believe that they continue to put up 140 every given night. All right, so now our next player is going to be someone that I am actually interested in kind of just seeing how this plays out, and this is going to be Joel Embiid. So we know Embiid is probably the favorite to be the MVP so far this season. I mean, he has not missed nearly the amount of games that you would expect from Embiid a quarter way through the year. And every single way you look, I mean, Embiid is giving you numbers. It does not matter if you play in a category league. It does not matter if you play in a points league. Embiid is there with elite production. I mean, efficiency-wise, through the roof, close to 50% from the field, close to 90% from the free throw line. And then he's giving you some threes a game. He's giving you close to 29 points a game, over 11 rebounds. I mean, and then we know what is going to be there with the defensive statistics. We know that Joel Embiid is going to be giving you the blocks. He's going to be giving you the steals every single night. So with Embiid, I am just interested in seeing how many games he's able to play throughout the next few months. Because with the 76ers sitting on top of the Eastern Conference, my personal goal with Joel Embiid, if I was Doc Rivers, I'd be going, you know what? I want you fresh for the playoffs. We do not need to focus too much in on what we are doing over the next few weeks, as we already have this locked up. Let's give you some more rest days. Let's make sure you're not playing back-to-backs, especially in a shortened season. And let's make sure that we are good to go once the games matter. All right. So now our next player that we are going to talk about is coming in at number 5, and he was my number 1 ranked player coming into the year. And this is going to be James Harden. So obviously with James Harden, it's a tale of two cities here. I mean, it's a tale of Houston and Brooklyn with how we are viewing his his season. But right now, absolutely insane with the amount of minutes that he is seeing per game, averaging 38 minutes a game right now. We know he's seen some double overtimes. We know that James Harden has been playing more than just the recreational time. And then we also know with James Harden, he is going to be giving you elite numbers in assists. He's going to be giving you the scoring numbers at the same time, as well as carrying you at the free throw line in those category formats. Now, what is interesting to see with James Harden is the fact that he has pretty much taken a complete backseat to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in Brooklyn with taking his shots. He's kind of coasting until he gets to the fourth quarter, and then it's like, you know what? Let's take it over. Let's get this going. I am James Harden. I've given Kevin Durant, I've given Kyrie Irving enough. And to be completely honest, this is a quick side note. I just want to reiterate the fact that I hate this trade for the Brooklyn Nets, because I'm fine if you evaluate James Harden as four first round picks, as well as 4 first round pick swaps and Jarrett Allen. I'm fine if you say that. But if you do say he is worth that much, why are you asking him to play like a completely different player? I think what you need to do after you get a James Harden is you have to go, you know what? Now we have James Harden. Our offense is going to go through him. Kevin Durant is going to be the best off-ball player in the entire NBA. That pick and roll is going to be almost impossible to stop. But what we need to do is we need to kind of look at the other purely offensive weapons that we have on this roster and kind of get them off. I mean, why do you still have Kyrie Irving? Outside of just keeping Kevin Durant happy, why are you not trading Kyrie Irving for some defensive help? If you're going to evaluate James Harden's help on offense at that price point, let him help you. Let him carry the load, put some shooters around him, get some defense around this team. That way we can see the Brooklyn Nets kind of reach their full potential. All right. So now let's get to our next player, someone who's been climbing this list over the past few weeks because of the injuries on his team. This is going to be Damian Lillard. Okay, so here with Dame, we know CJ McCollum's down. We know that Dame is going to be seeing a ridiculous amount of usage in this rotation. And that's exactly what's happening. I mean, over 36 minutes a game. And if you look recently, that number continues to trend upwards, where I think by the time we get McCollum back in this rotation, Damian Lillard is most likely going to jump a James Harden, and he's going to jump a Joel Embiid just because of the pure number of shots he is putting up. We know that Dame is going to be one of the best players in the entire NBA from the free throw line. We know that he is going to be giving you elite numbers from three-point range at the same time. And here with Damian Lillard, something I did not expect is the assist, rebounds, and points. I mean, he's giving you 30 points a game. He's giving you close to 7.5 assists and over 5 rebounds. Now, if Dame is able to continue this usage throughout the rest of the season, that would be absolutely insane. But what I think we actually need to do if you are a Damian Lillard holder is you need to hold over the next week or two, and then 2 weeks before CJ McCollum is coming back to this rotation, that's when I'm going to be looking to sell a Damian Lillard for a player in this range plus another piece, because we know Lillard will be on an extremely hot streak and will have all the buzz centered around him. All right, so now our next player on this list is someone that maybe you look to flip Damian Lillard for later on, and this is going to be Kawhi Leonard. And with Leonard right now, I mean, it's the same exact conversation of a Joel Embiid. I mean, he is playing way more games than anybody else expected, has already played 17 games this year, and seeing 34 minutes a game at the same time. I do not know why we are seeing this from Kawhi Leonard. I figured Kawhi Leonard was going to get used to this new rotation for the team. They were going to figure out some personnel sets that made a ton of sense, and then they were going to decide to kind of coast to the playoffs. But no, that's not what has happened in the slightest, as Kawhi Leonard is really just taking over here. And we know the efficiency stats are going to be there. We don't need to cover that. Really, the main thing that is sticking out right now for this entire Clippers roster, to be honest, is the efficiency from beyond the arc. I mean, right now, the Clippers are shooting lights out, and that's something that I'm expecting to go down. I'm expecting Kawhi Leonard to see a little bit less assist once his teammates' shots stop falling in at such a high clip. But regardless, Kawhi, one of the most talented players in the NBA, love to see him playing this many games. All right, so now our next player that we are going to talk about is someone that I think we should go out there and look to sell high on, and this is going to be Bradley Beal. And here with Bradley Beal, I mean, he's played 15 games. He's averaging 36 a game. And I'm sure y'all know why I'm going to be saying to sell high on Bradley Beal. And it's because I think a trade is looming. And while that's definitely going to help Bradley Beal's efficiency numbers, while his field goal percentage should go up if he's able to play more off ball, if he's able to get some other playmakers around him, I think the overall usage in the rotation should go down. The amount of field goal attempts per game should go down, and he's not going to be averaging 35 points a game on a new team. This is mainly due to the fact that the Wizards have really nobody else centered around him. So if I could take a Bradley Beal, and if I could go, you know what? Let's take Beal, let's add another small piece to it, and let's go get a Joel Embiid. That's something that I would love to do. All right, so now our next player, I just talked about him on another video, so I'm going to keep it very brief here, is going to be Kyrie Irving. I mean, Kyrie, I owe an apology to. I thought that he was a clear sell high candidate after we were getting James Harden in this rotation. I did not expect the shots to be there, but he's averaging 28 a game right now. He's averaging 6 assists at the same time, and almost 95% from the free throw line and over 50% from the field. I mean, with Kyrie, I would love to see him get traded off this roster. I mean, if we could see the general manager for the Brooklyn Nets kind of just have a conversation with Kevin Durant and go, hey man, you know what? I want to bring a title to Brooklyn. I know you want to be playing with your man Kyrie. I understand that's why you came here. But now we have James Harden. We got a significant upgrade over Kyrie Irving. And I think what would help this roster best is kind of 3-and-D guys, sporadic, and especially a center that could possibly actually guard the paint for this roster. That would help a ton, and I would love to see a Kyrie Irving trade. I just think it's unlikely because if that happens, if the Nets do not win this season, Kevin Durant could be a very unhappy man, and this could go downhill very quickly. All right, so now let's get to our last player. We're just going to do a top 10 video here. If y'all like this video format, make sure y'all go down there, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know that you like this video, and I'll do more like this going forward. But this last one's going to be Zach LaVine. Going to keep this very brief at the same time, just like Kyrie Irving. We just talked about him recently. And with Zach LaVine, I mean elite efficiency numbers from his field goal and free throw percentages, as well as giving you the threes, giving you the points per game, giving you rebounds, giving you assists, giving you steals. Zach LaVine is giving you everything right now and not killing you in a single category outside of turnovers. But that's what you come to expect when you're getting a player with such a high usage rate, is the turnovers to be there. So really, I don't even want to hold that against him. Now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. If y'all did, go down there, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, because that's how I know what videos do well. That's how I know what videos to make in the future. And yeah, thank you guys. I will see y'all with the video tomorrow.